Davinci the Truth here. This is the Raise Our Awareness Revolution. We are about to watch a clip of Cliffe and his son. Check it out, and I'll get back to it.
When you go to church regularly, the mortality rates go down 20 to 30%. You lead a healthier life. To regularly attend church services, you're more optimistic, you have lower rates of depression, lower rates of suicide, you have greater purpose in life, you are less likely to divorce, you are more self-controlled.
And then a more recent Harvard study talked about how if you go to church, healthy church, like you were saying, you have a much higher percentage chance, it's like 70% chance of women getting off drugs, exponentially higher chance of decreasing depression, anxiety, increasing life expectancy. You could take it from a biblical perspective, and you should eventually. Mm-hmm. But I start with these stats being like, so Harvard stressed that you can't get those benefits from going to like a country club or some type of community center or something. So I think supernaturally it's
all right. As you guys know, I love Cliffe and his son and everyone out there that's doing their Jesus thing. I am an advocate of everything that came out of Jesus' mouth, except for the Peter and the keys clause that has been abused by the church for thousands of years. The problem here is that, they're talking about church, and they're talking about the correlation with all of these positive outcomes of people and their health and their life, and so naturally it makes sense. Well, church did it, right? It's church, but it could be other things. I would start by saying having a spiritual outlook on life is really what should lead you to church. And when you commune with your community at church with something greater than all of you that brings all of you together in spirit, that in and of itself is a special thing. Now, they've also got donuts after church. You've got your friends and family there oftentimes. There's a variety of things. But I think first and foremost, it's the spiritual part. I think that the flaw is that when we hear this video, we're doom scrolling and you hear church and you're like, church, I haven't been in so long. What's Cliffe got to say about this? And then you watch it and you're like, I got to get back to church. And you're thinking, it's going to be good this time. It's going to be great. I'm going to love it. And then you get there and it was just as boring as the last time you went 10 years ago. And you're like, I don't know what Cliffe and his son see in this thing. And I know this ain't making me happier, healthier. I did get that donut, though, and I liked that. I did. They don't even make you stay. You just grab the donut and chunk deuce. So I think the problem is that it leads people to think that going to church is what is going to make you happier, healthier. It's going to give you that peace internally. No, it's not. In fact, I lived the majority of my life thinking that it was something I needed to do. I was one of those guys. I was raised Catholic. I was raised Catholic, and I was taught that if I didn't go, I was going to be burning in the eternal barbecue pit as a sausage patty or something, along with the other people that didn't go to church. And so I always just went as a slave. And so the entire experience, I was brain dead. I was lifeless. And as I looked around, everyone else was. The older they were, the better chance they were sleeping. But nevertheless, there was always something missing. And that was when, later on, without going too much into detail, through near-death experiences, and then Eastern philosophy, and then really realizing that, whoa, there's a whole world of perspectives out there as it relates to this whole thing. And then you start to understand that we are all spiritual beings. We are all equal in the eyes of God. We are all manifestations of that source, creator. And so, in that process, you realize there's something bigger than the idea of doing things as a slave, partaking in religion because you have to. No, if you're going to church because you feel like you have to, get the hell out of church. You don't belong. You should be going to church as a part of being part of the community, in spirit, essentially celebrating what it is that you understand the this reality, this metaphysical reality to be, and to understand your relationship to it. And so the other thing, you shouldn't be going to church to find the peace. You shouldn't be going there for the health benefits. You should go to church already at peace. And this is something Western Christianity, it really doesn't teach. And that is finding that peace within through centering yourself, through practices like meditation, through understanding the oneness and your relationship to reality. Once you find that peace within, then you start to go outward, not in search of meaning so that you can find that peace. You've already found that peace. Now meaning is something that you're giving to the world, and it's you no longer seek for the meaning, you seek to contribute, and that is meaningful. And in that contribution, you find meaning, but really you're not finding anything. You've already developed that internal peace that is what, unfortunately, Cliff and his son are suggesting the reason you should go to church. From the peace that it brings, from the benefits that it brings to your mind, body, and spirit. That's not, unfortunately, like I said, I love Cliff and his son and all of the videos that I comment on, but again, my job here is to raise awareness. This is the Raise Our Awareness revolution. We are lions, not dead, brain dead sheep in a church there because we're afraid of going to hell and being lit up for the rest of eternity. We're here to bring awareness to the nature of reality, which is spiritual in nature. We are all one. And I think once we all come together under that umbrella, we will see religion as something to celebrate, as the beautiful relic from the past that it is. And that's not to say that you can't be religious. Like I said, if you're a Christian and you love Jesus and what he brings to your life and the entire message, that's great. And I would say continue to be Christian. If you're Buddhist and it does that, it tickles your soul the same way, be Buddhist, Hindu, whatever. There's all sorts of religions out there, but just know religion is a tool to achieve a spiritual outlook that long time ago they didn't really understand the true nature of reality. They didn't have the blessing of mass. They didn't have the blessing of information technology where you can get on YouTube, listen to near-death experiences, and listen to the vast majority of all of them come back just thrilled that they finally realized it's not about religion. It's about treating each other with love, loving one another, something so simple. And that's why I think those near-death experiences are so happy when they get back, because they no longer go to church as a mental slave. They go to church now engaged as part of the communal aspect of it. And so whether it's that or just doing research on all the different religions out there, you start to realize there can be no God out there that when you get upstairs and you finally get to the front of the line and he's like, Davinci, man, this is going to be tough, bro. Because you killed it down there. You did a great job. Yeah, you lived as close to you could live like Jesus as you could, but you crapped on him all the time. I mean, by that he joked about, like, it's not about him, it's about his message. It's not about being a slave, it's about being your master of light and living it for the world, in the world, but of the Spirit. You did everything right, but you called yourself spiritual and not Christian. How in my name did you think that was a good idea, Davinci? Come on. Well, anyway, I'm not going to torture you anymore, bro. You know what this means. You see that over there, that light? That's not that light where we're That's not the light of gold and diamonds and all that good stuff of just wealth and prosperity, even though you're not going to need none of it here. But, you see that? It's nice, ain't it? That light, that's fire, bro. Get your ass out of here. Shout out Twin Flames. But yeah, no, that's not what, that can't be what it's about. It just can't be. So I think the more you broaden your understanding, the more you build your awareness in these other religions, in these other philosophies, you will start to see that humanity is one. And that's why the Raise Our Awareness Revolution is humanity's roar. We are lions, not sheep. This is about coming together under the banner of humanity for the first time in history as an entire world on a messianic mission to unite all of us so that we can start healing and we can start laying the foundation for a new earth with a paradigm shift in our awareness and our conscious experience. That's what this is about. Look forward to seeing y'all again. Davinci the Truth. I'm out.